Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another segment of our Hidden Gems where we will continue to highlight our Black and Brown businesses, as well as those community leaders that are doing positive things to impact our community. Tonight, we have a full segment. We have some phenomenal gems that's going to come up and bless the community with information and talk about some of the work that they're doing to impact community. So looking forward to tonight's segment. With that being said, I want to say thank you to all the community, all of the cards, all of the love that's been coming in from community. Continue support and love as I go through this process. As community know, I lost my mom last week, and it's just been a struggle. But thanks to the community, my community family, the love that you guys have been sending to me and my family, I really, really appreciate it. You all have been uplifting me. So many folks just reaching out, making sure that I'm okay and I'm getting through. And it's a challenge, but I'm here every day. We're going to continue to push through both sides of the conversation. In this work that we do, we believe in the community. So we're going to be here and we're going to keep pushing through. Want to say thank you to the Human Rights Director, Director Cheryl Davis, Felicia Jones, Dave Muhammad, for an epic conversation we had on Sunday. If you all missed the Sunday conversation about community violence, our part 2 segment, please go back and check it out. It was a great conversation. The feedback that we got from community, they just was loving the conversation. They said, y'all have to have a part 3, and we will have a part 3 and bring back some of those Dreamkeeper initiative folks that's doing the violence prevention work. And we'll definitely be getting Director Davis back on to talk about some of the other stuff that's going on for the Dreamkeeper initiative. So we're looking forward to that very, very important stuff. But with that being said, we're going to jump into a couple of community announcements, and then we're going to go ahead and kick off tonight's show. With that being said, one of the announcements that's very important that I've seen, proposed legislation for financial institutions to report bank account information to the IRS. This proposal will require banks to report all customers with funds with a minimum balance of $600 to send that information to the IRS, as the new tax law will track funds going into bank accounts and withdrawals from accounts on this effort that they're saying to crack down on tax avoidance. Very appalling in a sense. Never I seen it at this level of the IRS trying to be in people's business, but with all of the stuff that's been going on with PPE loans and EDD fraud and all the stuff that's going on, I guess now they want to get into the little man's pocket. So just be careful out there. People, understand that your bank or any institution that's holding your funds, once you have $600 in there, they will be reporting it to the IRS. So just good information that we want to put out there to the community. Another way for Big Brother to be in our money. With that being said, this humanity issue that's going on with about 10,000 migrants under the Texas Bridge in Del Rio, Texas, is just a humanitarian crisis. I am just lost for words to say what I feel about some of the things that we saw of the border patrol handling the Haiti immigrants under there. It was sad. I thought I seen an episode of Roots or Slavery, another slave thing. It was just sad to see. I know there's an investigation that's going to be launched, but just sad to see how the people of Haiti going through what they're going through, trying to get into the country. I know it's illegal to be doing it, but the way that they was treated was very, very inappropriate and triggering for me. We did not see that type of treatment when they brought the 140,000 immigrants from Afghanistan to this country, and to see them handle our people like that, I am disappointed and outraged about that. So, we'll continue to highlight that and talk about it as the evening goes on. But I'm very frustrated in that. The United Nations are celebrating the first International Day of African descent. More than 200 people in America identify as African descent. So that's something big as we continue to push forward to acknowledge some of our historic history, and not only here in America, but across the world. Is very important for that information to go out. So love to see that. There's some new affordable housing for homeless coming to Oakland. The city's housing department and the Biden administration, through the new House America initiative, is bringing 1,500 homes to homeless people within the next 16 months. So that's pretty good to see that happening. And then on Monday, Oakland held their groundbreaking ceremony for the new affordable housing development in East Oakland. It will be 55 units, and 25% of those will go to the homeless community. So just happy to see there's some efforts being put into getting some of these folks off the street. As we talk about homelessness and some of the crises that we're dealing with homelessness in this country, it is just sad to see the turn that America has taken. Y'all know last week we was out on Skid Row feeding 2,500 people, and the work we continue to do with the people here in San Francisco and across this country. It is sad to see the amount of children on the streets, homeless in tents, and we got some work to do, America, but it's sad, but nice to see Oakland stepping up, breaking ground, and trying to get some of this stuff in place for community. Also, this is National Hispanic Heritage Month, so just want to give a huge shout out to our Hispanic and Latino brothers and sisters. As y'all know, both sides of the conversation, we always support our Black and Brown communities, and our Latino brothers, we want to give them a huge uplift for their Hispanic Heritage Month, and they will be kicking off. It started on the 15th and will go through October 15th. Our mayor was out at a couple of the community events. If you want to know a little bit more about the events that's going up for the Bay Area, please go to latinbayarea.com and check out the events, and you can see what events are going on for you this Heritage Month. Very, very important stuff. Again, the community announcements for locally here, the Fillmore Square job training, faith-based culinary training, and workforce development for the fall cohort is coming up. Brother Tyrone, that's who y'all want to talk. Y'all go see that brother tonight because he on here tonight. He wanted to hit a gym, so y'all get to hear straight from the horse's mouth what they're doing, how they impacting the community, and talk about this program and how it's going to impact our community. So we'll bring him up shortly to give you the information and his phone number and how to connect and get some of our folks in the community involved with this program that this good brother is doing. The B Magic is presenting Family Day for residents every day at 2401 Key Street. Every day from 9 to 4. And then on Thursdays, they're going to have extended hours from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please reach out to Be Magic and make sure you guys connect, as they're going to be doing the Family Day for the residents of Bayview. The Bayview Hunters Point Park, in collaboration with Park RX, they're having a zero waste gardening shop located at Heron Head Park at the Eco Center, 32 Jennings Street. Please reach out and contact them if you want to get involved. We want as many of our youth to get involved with the Eco Center. They are doing some phenomenal things to impact our young people. This Saturday, we will be having the Hombre Block Party at Cafe Envy, located at Lane in Yosemite. The San Francisco African American Cultural Center District is going to be putting that together. Please reach out to Erica Scott if you're a vendor or if anybody or you want to be a part of the event. Please submit everything to the African American Cultural Center, and we'll put that information in the chats later on and through the segment. The Hunter Point Circus Day will be coming up, the Circus Bella, on October 3rd from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at 155 Jennings Street. Contact info now at hunterspoint.org, and I'll put that information up as well. They're going to be back out there. It should be a phenomenal event for our young people. And then don't forget about the Phoenix Day Block Party coming up October 17th. And the deadline had already passed for people who want to be vendors, but it should be a great event. So go to the Sunday Street Fairs /Black Block Party, and you could be a part of that event. For both sides of the conversation announcements, this Thursday, we're going to have another Educational Thursday presentation. We're going to have Miss Shawana Sherman. She's going to come educate the community about the African American Center at the San Francisco Public Library. Phenomenal information for community. We want community to get out there and go check out what's going on at the public library. That's going to be a great show. And then this Sunday, we're going to have another conversation about the housing management issues in the San Francisco and the Bay Area. We've had people who have passed away from poor property management. We got some legal folks that's going to come on. This is information that our community needs. Some of our folks that are in the housing, public housing in our city has been affected. And some of these management companies have been coming into the community, abusing our community. And we want to make sure that this stops. And there's a call for action. And we're going to keep pushing this forward as we talk about that. And then on Sunday, October the 3rd, we're going to have a powerful conversation about drug abuse and some of the issues that's happening with this fentanyl in our community. Is as we all know, this fentanyl is all over in all of our communities. We are losing people left and right, especially here in San Francisco. And we're going to be partnering up with the CAS and the adult probation and some of our reentry folks to have this conversation. Very important conversation to have. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready to open up tonight. Couple other things. Want to give a huge shout out to Steading in Peace, our sister Siobhan Hunter. Tonight they had the Steading in Peace. This is International Peace Day. They were up there in Potrero Hill on 25th in Connecticut, marching around for peace as we want to continue to live in peace and promote peace in our community. Very important event. And there's a number of other peace events that's going to be going on, and we'll get that information out to community. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and open up for tonight's Hidden Gems. Some phenomenal hidden gems for all y'all that just say both sides of the conversation only support the Bay Area and San Francisco. Again, we have more guests coming in from Mississippi and Houston tonight to come support both sides of the conversation, and we're going to support them with our community and let them know that both sides of the conversation, we all around this place. We're going to keep on reaching out to our Black folks as we love our people no matter where you are. We're going to make sure that those resources and that information gets to our community. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and bring up our first hidden gem tonight, Miss Adrienne Miles. She's going to come on here and talk about some of the phenomenal work that she's doing to impact community and how we can get out there to support. Hello, Miss Adrienne.
Hi.
How you doing? Go ahead and let the people know who you are, what you're doing, and how they can support.
Okay, I'm good. I'm Adrienne Miles, as he just stated. I'm an outreach coordinator for Feeding the Gulf Coast. And Feeding the Gulf Coast is a nonprofit. It's a food bank located in Theodore, Alabama. We work under the Feeding America umbrella. We fight food insecurity. I work for the SNAP department specifically, and we have Benefits Enrollment Center, which you can see the numbers strolling at the bottom. And in the Benefits Enrollment Center, what we do is we go into the community. As a coordinator, I go into the community and we help people apply for benefits, SNAP benefits, Medicare premiums, and things of that nature, assistance with utility bills. And the point of our team is to help individuals be able to afford healthy food. We want food is a right, it's a human right. We all need food to survive, and we want everyone to have access to healthy food for their survival. I'm located in Mississippi. I work out of the Mississippi Food Network in Jackson. But the Benefits Enrollment Center services clients in both Alabama and Mississippi. We have a benefits hotline where you can reach us from 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, at the number shown on the screen if you need assistance applying for benefits. we we if you don't qualify for the benefits, we're able to put you in contact with different food pantries in your area. We do all sorts of outreach in the community. We do prison outreach. We work with a lot of churches and different organizations. And we just the goal is to make sure that everyone has food to eat. No one, especially children, no one should go to bed hungry. And so that's our goal. That's our fight. We're fighting hunger. I tell people all the time, I'm a hunger fighter. What is your superpower? That's what we do at Feeding the Gulf Coast. That's what we do at the Benefits Enrollment Center. So if you're located in Mississippi or Alabama, feel free to reach out to us if you need assistance applying for your benefits. It's not a problem. Our services are always free and confidential. There is no charge. We will walk you through the whole process. We will do your application, submit all your documentation, and assist you in any way that we can because we want to do what we can to make the process easier for you in the community. Um, there aren't there are a lot of stigmas behind SNAP, but if you need the assistance, then by all means, please utilize the program. If you don't think you qualify for SNAP because you work, just give us a call and we can go over the income guidelines with you to determine whether you qualify or not. We work with a lot of seniors, and sometimes they often miss the mark by 15 or $20. But what a lot of people don't realize is if you're over 60 or you're on disability, you're able to include medical deductions. So if you are on disability or over 60 or you know someone that fits that parameter, have them to give us a call. We may can work with them to get them qualified for the service. Out of pocket medical expense of any kind, medication, co-pays, insurance premium, transportation to and from the doctors, all that can be deducted if you fall in that category, which most people don't know, but that's what we're here for to help you with that whole process. Um, we don't just service seniors, we service anyone who needs the help in the community. Feel free to call us. We don't service Louisiana, but if you visit our website, thebenefitsenrollmentcenter.org, will be able to redirect you if you're from Louisiana and you're seeking assistance after Hurricane Ida. You can give us a call and we can give you the information we do have that's available to you to direct you to the people that can properly assist you.
Wow, very, very, very powerful stuff. Talking about this food thing is always an interesting conversation because we all suffering from this food deserts in our community. So, way to go to have a program that impacts the people that needs that food support. I just went to the grocery store the other day. I was amazed how inflation has impacted the grocery store, especially here in
Right?
California. I mean, a gallon of milk is almost $5, $5+ I seen some bacon for $13.99. I said, "Whoa, the prices are getting high." But I think this is a phenomenal program that you have for the folks down there. What is y'all food capacity? How many families do you all impact? I mean, do you guys have that data? Like, how many families have y'all impacted? How long is this program running, or is this a year round? Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't have that data on hand, but I can tell you Feeding the Gulf Coast distributes millions of pounds of food throughout Mississippi, Alabama, and the panhandle of Florida each year. We are one of the only or the biggest food banks in the state, as well as the Mississippi Food Network. We distribute food all over both states of Alabama and Mississippi. I don't have the exact number, but it's millions of poundage of food that we send all over. And the food is free. All you have to do is reach out to that location. Depending on the pantry, there might be some qualification requirements, but the food is always free. we have mobile pantries throughout the state. So we have one coming up on the 29th. Let me see where it is. All you have to do is show up and get in the line. No questions asked. We're not going to ask you any proof of anything. Just show up. The next one we have is on the 30th in Carthage, Mississippi. So be sure to follow our social media page, Benefits Enrollment Center, and we share all the distributions there. You can find, if you give us a call, we can put in your zip code and we can locate pantries near you in your area, if you need the assistance. Like he said, there are food deserts, especially here in Mississippi. I visited a lot of them last week up north Mississippi in the Delta, and there weren't stores for miles and miles and miles. And
Wow.
so we service those kind of communities because we want to make sure that everyone gets the proper food that they need for survival. We are currently working on we're vaccine ambassadors recently. And so we have an event this week coming up in Marks, Mississippi. We're going to distribute food and we're going to give out information about vaccines. We're going to educate the community about the importance of the vaccine or where you can get a vaccine if you're interested, because a lot of the rural areas in Mississippi are having a hard time finding a location to get the vaccine. So again, give us a call and we can locate a vaccination area for you if you're interested in the vaccine.
Wow, phenomenal, phenomenal information. Please make sure that you get us any digital flyers that y'all have so we can blast them on all of our social media handles as we're trying to make sure that we get this information out to the community. So important work that you all doing. I like the fact that you hit on the one point about people just being able to come in and get the food without you all having to ask questions. And I know here in San Francisco, that is one of the ideals that our board president Shaman Walton was talking about. How do we set up food pantries for our people where they can just walk in like a little mart or something and just grab food, whatever they need, without having to be, impacted of, where you from. They can get their milk and their eggs and whatever that they have in the pantry. I think that's a good ideal. In our community, the Black and Brown community, we are so prideful, and when we need help, we are so prideful to say we need help. But I think that model that you're talking about, having those pantries, having a walkway or a place where people can just come in, grab what they need without somebody asking them any questions, take as much as you need, is a great ideal. And that's just something that I hope that this model that you're talking about, we can implement as well. And I know Shaman's been talking about this because so many times in our community, our people are so prideful. They miss out on those benefits, and other communities come in, get everything, and they don't have a problem. But having something like that, I think, is just easy access for our community to just come in, grab what they need, and go, and not have to worry about being sweat or asked any questions. So when it's gone, it's gone. But while it's there, they should be able to come in and grab it. So I think that's phenomenal. And then all of the vaccination stuff, I know y'all been hit hard down there. I look at the numbers down there in that Gulf, man. The number of the Delta variant has spread it so much down there. So definitely we want to help get that information out to our people and make sure that they got ways to connect to get those vaccinations or get to those vaccination sites. But with that being said, if there's anything else you want to talk about, any other information you want to give before we move on to the next hidden gem, please put it out there now. If not, we'll just go ahead and move on to the end and get the next person up.
No, I just encourage you, if you're watching and you're from Mississippi or Alabama and you're not sure if you qualify for any kind of benefits, I encourage you to reach out to us, give us a call so we can go over your income guidelines and everything and tell you what benefits that you do qualify for. Because the goal is to make you more self-sufficient, because it's not always feasible to get to the mobile pantries or a food pantry, especially if you work. We don't want you taking off work to go stand in line for food.
That's
And
right.
if you qualify and you apply for the benefit, you can go to the store on your own and get your food on your own terms, on your own time. A lot of people are under the impression that if I work that I don't qualify, which is not necessarily true, because as we know here in Mississippi, oftentimes we're underemployed, so you may work, but you still might not earn a living wage for your family size. So definitely reach out and see if you qualify, because working families can qualify for the program. And
wow, great information. Thank you, Miss Adrian, for coming on tonight. There you go, community. Way from Mississippi. She's coming in, tapping in with both sides of the conversation, getting this information out to the community. If you're in the Gulf, if you're in Alabama, please reach out to Feeding the Gulf Coast, 188-704-FOOD, extension 402, and let this beautiful queen here help support you and your family. As we know, these times are getting tough. Every little bit of support makes a difference. Thank you again for coming on tonight for our Hidden Gem segment. Now you are not so hidden. So many people are now going to know who you are, and they're going to be reaching out. Thank you for the work you're doing, and God bless you, Queen.
Yes, thank you for allowing us to use your platform. We appreciate you.
No problem. God bless. We'll see you soon. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into our next hidden gem tonight, as we have a full house tonight. We have another sister that's doing things to impact the community coming on tonight, way from Houston. So again, community, we're getting out there. The information is flying around. We got somebody from Houston coming on, but she's a Bay Area native, but she'll come talk about some of the things that she's doing and how community can get behind and support her efforts. With that being said, I'm going to bring up Mr. Treat Wilson.
Hi, how are you?
Doing, Queen?
I'm good. You got me up late.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Out of here. We know it's late out there in Houston. But go ahead and introduce yourself to the community. Tell them what you're doing so community know who you are and what you're doing, sister.
This is gonna be quick, so you might as well just stay right on that on that screen, blood. Like for real, stay right on that screen. It's gonna be real quick, boo. No, no, for real. But my name is Latray, but everybody, I love going by Trey. I'm a native from the town. I'm from the Bay. I'm from East Oakland, deep East. Lie. What?
Now you know she's from Oakland when she said she's from Deep East.
I'm from the Deep East. Quit playing. Don't play with me, East Oakland. Anyway, yeah. My website is Destined to Be Blessed, and how it came about is back in 2018. I had been going through a whole bunch of things, and one night I think I had just came back from a trip, and I was like, "Hey, I'm about to sit down and look at all my journals and see what's going on in my life, because my life was not together." And so I read all of my journals that I had written out, and I had 4 books, so it was like maybe 20 years worth of stuff, and the prayers were all the same. And so I was like, something is not right. I got to fix this. Something needs to change. And so I started looking at the cycle. I started looking at the pattern, and I noticed that I was repeating the same thing over and over again. It didn't look the same. It didn't sound the same, but it was the same. And so I came up. I was like, let me figure out what I can do. How can I do this? How can I break this cycle? And all the stuff that I had been through, I said, you know what? I need to write a book. That's all I kept saying, because every situation I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna believe me. I need to write a book. And so when you speak things into life, God has his own little way of bringing it to life. And so he brought to life my last 20, which is a reflection of my last 20 years of my life, and how I broke some cycles that were into my life, and some curses that were placed upon my family. And hey, I had to do the work in order to break it. And so I'm here, and it's phenomenal. I believe it's a real easy, quick read. And give a little background for me. I have 20 years worth of experience inside of education. I have a 19-year-old son. His name is Jalen Alexander. He is my love, my heart. Remember his name, because he's going to be the next filmmaker coming out the Bay via Houston. But yeah, that's me.
Wow, powerful stuff. I don't see the book information. You got to put the name of the book in there so community can get out and support you.
So I'm about to put it in the book. My book is called My Last 20.
Well, that's the important information. You should have had that in the chat. That comes before the website. How's the community gonna support you if you don't have that information?
You know what? Hey, let me tell you, I will forget I wrote a book. And and I'm like, wait, my what? Yeah, so my last 20 is called it's called My Last 20, Breaking the Curse to Embrace the Blessing. And so I'm typing it in as I speak, and I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link inside the thing.
Okay, and that's very powerful that you're doing that. I mean, I'm looking at your background, because a lot of time the Bay Area, especially Oakland, gets a knock for the educational system. And I see you've climbed the educational ladder. And, it's very important that people in the community see this type of give back. And this is why this segment is so important and so powerful. When people hear your testimony, a lot of times there are people in our community who are going through things, are impacted by some of the things that you go through. But to have that testimony to show the steps and what you've been through and climbing that ladder to give back is very, very powerful. And we thank you for that because that's one of the things that I've always tried to get people to understand. As you climb the corporate ladder, as you climb the educational ladder, don't forget to come reach a hand for those that in need. That stuff that you've been through, there's somebody that can relate. And that story, hearing that testimony might pull somebody up. So powerful stuff that you're doing. And we want to definitely support you with the book and any of the endeavors that you have going on. And with that criminal justice background, man, very, very important stuff. We got.
I have a master's in teaching, and my love is actually criminal justice. Like if I could have went there, I could have, but I didn't because the criminal justice system is definitely not made for us, and so it's kind of heartbreaking. And so when I see stuff happening on the screen, and I just think back to my education, I'm like, it's for us, but it's not for us. And so I don't get upset about, the police officers not going to prison. Like I don't get upset anymore because it's something behind it. And so I just say, hey, something's going to happen to them later on in life, and I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to be the person that do it. So it is what it is. But I think we got to break those cycles so we can stop all the stuff that's going on and racism and everything, all of that. If we can't stop that, then we're going to continue repeating the same cycles all over again. And so that's why we still seeing slavery, modern day slavery in prison, because we still ain't learned our lesson. You know what I mean? And people got to have power and all that extra stuff, which is unnecessary, but it is what it is.
Well, I'm definitely going to connect with you. I do a lot of reentry work, and I'm always trying to figure out ways that we can impact our community, as we call it here, the punishment system that we're dealing with when we talk about mass incarceration and as folks come back re-entering into the community. How do we really impact our community? How do we really educate our community so they understand the system as a whole and how it impacts us and how to avoid it? So as you get your curriculum together and stuff, I want you to come back and do an educational presentation to come educate our community how to take the chains off our brain, how to maneuver in this systematic hell that we have placed here for our people. So very, very important stuff. But I see the book information. I'm getting it up on the screen. Community, My Last 20, Breaking the Curse and to Embracing the Blessing. Go ahead and pick up that book, support the queen. Make sure that y'all check out her website and see some of the work that she's doing and see how the community can support. Very, very good stuff there, Queen. We're just going to do our work to try to connect with you and see what we can do because we have a lot
I love the Bay. Like I love the Bay, and I love when somebody said is in the Bay. I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. What? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And it wasn't no thought. I had to do it. This is where I grew up. Like if you can live in the Bay, you can live anywhere. Like I am definitely suited and booted for here because of the knowledge and all the stuff that you learn in the Bay. We have a culture within ourselves that people don't really realize that the Bay is really, they love the Bay out here, but they scared of the Bay out. Yeah, they scared of the Bay people out here. So, but it's okay.
Don't be telling them you from DC, Oakland, man.
I stopped telling them I'm from Oakland, period, because it's like once I say I'm from Oakland, I still ain't got a boyfriend and I've been here for 2 years. So no, y'all need to calm down out there. Calm it down so I can get a husband or something.
Hey, you just can't be giving them that slick talk. You know, that vague talk be going over their head.
Oh man, they game. You know what? We are some real slick talkers, and so if you don't pay attention out in the town, you will definitely get taken over. And let me tell you, the stuff that they say out here, I'm like, we done said that a long time ago. No, we not falling for that. No. But yeah, when I say the Bay is a gem, is nothing like the town. Like, it's really, really nothing like the town. And I miss home so much. Like, I really, really miss home. And the Mexican food, let me tell you, the Mexican food is nasty out here. Like, it's nasty. So I'm making Mexican food every week because of the lack of Mexican food that they have here. So I make tacos too. So if you got family out in out here that needs some town tacos, tell them to hit me up because I do that too.
That's what's up, connecting the resources. Well, thank you for coming on. Get up your time. I know it's late. Thank you for always representing and doing the work that you're doing out there. You know, our deputy director's from Houston, so both sides of the conversation, we're going to be out there in Houston because we'll be doing some feeds out there. So we definitely got to connect with you when we get out there.
Whenever you come out here, please let me know. I will come and support you guys. Like, seriously, whenever you come out here, let me know, and I will definitely give you guys some hospitality and yeah, thank you for allowing me to come on. And yes, my book is My Last 20. If you purchase a book, let me tell you, if you purchase a book, I'm able to give away 4 books for free. And that's exactly what I do. I give books away to people, to women, to anybody that I feel may need it. And so if anybody buy a book, I can definitely give like 4. For every 1 book, I can give 4 away.
So I'm gonna buy 10 books. I'm telling you now, and I'm gonna give it away to some of the sisters out here on our shows. So I'll buy 10 of them from you.
Please, my book has gone to Singapore. My book is actually in a prison right now. So wherever my book can go, I needed to go somewhere, and I need to really go into town. So there was some Marcus Books people out there. Bay Area bookstores, can y'all please go put my book in y'all store? And then I even sent my book to Tyler Perry so he can make my movie. So Tyler.
Hey, well, we'll get it out there. We're going to speak it into existence. But no, thank you for the work that you're doing. And, we just blessed to support you in your book. That's what it's all about. You know, kings supporting queens, queens supporting queens. We got to uplift our community, make sure that we're doing the things to help impact our community. So thank you for the work you're doing. You are no longer a hidden gem. People in the town go know, like, they be replaying, like, hold on, who is that?
It's me. I'm from the town. That's me. Yeah, it's Trey from the town.
Right. Well, thank you for giving up your time. I know it's late. We've been holding you. Thank you for being on tonight. You are no longer hidden. Community, here you are. Get behind Miss Trey. Support her. Get a book. And we'll hopefully get her to come back on and get her here in the Bay.
Look, you better call me, boy, and put me on the show so I can come and represent out here, out there, whatever you want to do. I'm serious.
Right. All right, we got you. Well, thank you, Queen, for staying on tonight. We'll go ahead and move on and bring up our next hidden gem. If you can stay to the end, you can. But if you're going to sleep, go to sleep. Get some of that town rest.
Thank you, boo.
All right. Thank y'all. That's one of our hidden gems there, way in Houston, from the Bay, coming back, tapping in. And, very, very important to support our folks across this country, especially our Bay Area folks, uplift them and support them. So looking forward to picking up her book and supporting her. With that being said, we're going to move on to our next hidden gem. She is a Dreamkeeper Initiative grantee. She is doing a narrative shift. She is doing the work. We're going to bring up Miss Alicia Mayo to come talk about the work that she's doing under the Dreamkeeper and some of the things that she's been doing to impact the community for a very, very long time. So with that being said, Miss Alicia Mayo, come let the community know who you are, what you're doing, sister.
Hello, John Henry. Thank you so much for having me on. Condolences to you and your family as your mom transitions and becomes an angel for all of us. I'm happy to be here tonight on the show. I've been wanting to come on. I got to take my glasses. Actually, no, I better not. I have to read. Well, I own a multimedia agency, a multimedia agency. A multimedia agency. I'm saying that 3 times because I'm a Black-owned media agency that's having a lot to do with images and messaging and the way people are seeing us. I come from corporate media, I come from corporate marketing, and I'm not happy with the way we are still being portrayed in television and radio and in advertising. And I'm doing all that I can to saturate all of the social media platforms, radio and television, any kind of visual presentation, whether it's broadcasting, podcasting, blogging, television productions, radio, any way that I can saturate those mediums with more positive images and messages and ideals about us as Black people. That's my goal. Until the last breath, I'll be telling our stories the way that our stories should be told. I think I want to try to represent. And so I have 30 plus years of experience in business and in media. I grew up in San Francisco, born and raised in the city, where my family owned businesses. We're all entrepreneurs. That's all I know, really. It's in my blood to just own my business and to be the boss of me. Uh, Although I have worked, like I said, in corporate media and retail and banking and all of that in San Francisco, I found that the discrimination permeates in all of those industries. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how much education I gained, I still had to deal with sexual harassment, pay discrimination, being given the worst working shifts, on the radio, working overnights, anchoring the news, weather, traffic for 50 plus radio stations where I was heard by millions of listeners from Vancouver, Washington, all the way down to the Bay Area, working for KCBS radio on the air as a news anchor. You could hear my voice on KQED. I launched the first digital broadcast that's a 24-hour broadcast for Next Star Nation and Cron 4 Television. I launched that in 2018, but I was being paid $30 an hour to do it. That is ridiculous. And I walked away from it. Whereas somebody else might be happy to be the only Black one in this newsroom. I just decided that it wasn't enough for me and that they owed me more than what they were giving me. So I walked away, took a chance to start my own media agency. And as a result, like I said, I've combined all of my business knowledge, my hard and soft skills, my thought leadership abilities, and my on the air experience, and just, being actually a spectator of television and radio as well, to getting to the point where I'm not afraid anymore. I decided to just create my own media agency, a multimedia agency, where I provide everything from broadcast productions to content, brand strategy, messaging, technical writing, audio and video production. If you're trying to start a podcast, if you're trying to create a blog, if you are a small, preferably a Black-owned business, because we're the ones that didn't get the marketing and the advertising acumen or knowledge. I want to work with non-traditional audiences that are looking to build their businesses, build their platforms, to really present themselves in a way that is extraordinary, that sets you apart from everyone else, where it looks credible and legitimate. I don't want to approach a business or a platform um, uh, kind of reset or a reimagining of of the business approach. I don't want to do it in the way that people are doing it now on social media. There's nothing wrong with Zoom and there's nothing wrong with StreamYard, but how you use it and how you present yourself is really, really, really critical. It's important for credibility and for believability and for professionalism and to be taken seriously and to turn a profit on what you're doing. You really need to know your unique selling proposition. You really need to know who your competitors are. You really need to understand, you know, how to leverage all of the things that you can, whether it's designing your website, whether it's the messages that you're sending, script writing for your podcast or your storytelling, your technical literacy if you're teaching things over the internet, if you have classes and all of that. How are you delivering the content, academic curriculum, and all of that? I have lots of experience. I come from a very deep background of several industries: education, business, multimedia, and more. But it all exists here, and I'm trying to share it with all of you. So I've created some literacy labs where I'm actually teaching all of those things. Finally, as I move into retirement, I want to share and give back all of the things that I have been blessed with in all of those areas, all of those communities, from all of those great people. And so as a dream keeper of San Francisco, it is my number one goal is now to give back and to really make sure that I'm feeding my communities here in the Bay Area, as well as across the nation, you know, as much as I can with my limited reach. I do want to serve and give back what I've been given. So that's about it. I would invite everyone to just reach out to me at claritymedia.org and visit, follow, like, share Clarity Media on all of the social media platforms, and reach out to me if you want to do something extraordinary for your business, for your brand, and all of that. I'm here to help.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Powerful stuff. Way to go to, take all of that education, years of experience, and give it back to the community. That's what it's really all about. Clarity Media is on the pathway to make a change and mark in our community, get our young folks as well.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. You called it Claret Media, and I know it's spelled that way, and that's the way it looks. It looks like Claret Media, but there's a story behind it. Clarity Media, and the capital T is representative of the technical side of me, but Clary in Latin, Clari, means bright, famous girl, and I had no idea. I wanted to call the business Clarity, and my business partner said, do a play on the word clarity, and I did, but then I discovered that Clary in Latin means bright, famous girl, and the capital T represents her technical side, and so that is exactly who I am. According to other people, bright. I don't think I'm bright and famous, but other people think I'm bright and famous, and that's how I got all of that experience in corporate media. And I'll accept it, but I'd rather share it with all of you.
You are bright and famous, okay? And we're gonna say Clarity Media. Okay? Clarity Media. We're gonna make sure we get it right. We're gonna make sure we get it right, Queen. You are Clarity. I'm gonna put some respect on your name, okay? I'm gonna put some respect on your name.
But you know what? It's really not about the name. It really isn't. It's about the work that I'm doing. And as long as I can really help and lift people to, create names that work for them and their businesses and really, turn a profit. We want to see our businesses and our images reflected the right way. So forget me and my name and all of that stuff and what people put on me. I'm trying to put it back into the community and on people. So yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
very much. You know, I'm always picking with you. Clarity Media. Y'all go out there. The information is up on the screen. If you're looking for some of the service that she's provided, she is one of the Dream Keeper Initiative grantees. She will be helping change that narrative. You know, talking about the stories of Black San Francisco, talking about the work that community organizations are doing. If you're looking for that type of support, please reach out. The information is on the screen. Thank you again, Alicia, for all
my literacy labs. My classes are available too at no cost. I can teach you all of those things to help you leverage and elevate your businesses and your brands. Okay.
There you go. So if you guys want some free courses, some good information, you want to learn about branding, broadcasting, she has the classes for you. Please check out the website that's up on the screen.
And I have the experience too.
All right. All right.
That's right. Thank you, John Henry.
Hey, well, thank you very much for coming on tonight. We are happy to have you on our Hidden Gem segment. Looking forward to working with you as we both are in this line of trying to get that narrative and that messaging right. And we're looking forward to collaborating and doing stuff with you in the future.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you for coming on. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next Hidden Gem. This brother been waiting patiently. We've been announcing what he's doing. I want to bring up my brother, Tyrone Mullins, so he could talk about what he's doing to impact the community with his culinary adventure and some of the other stuff that he has going on. So with that being said, brother Tyrone, come up here and let the people know what you're doing.
Hey, thank you for having me, John Henry. And then, as she mentioned, I want to offer my condolences as well for the loss that you and your family took. I've been there, so I know what it's like. Sending you much strength and positive energy, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. God bless, brother.
So tonight, I'm here to talk to you about Fillmore Square. I'm going to talk about a couple other things too while I have your ear and the attention of many. But I'm here because of Fillmore Square. Fillmore Square is a faith-based culinary training program with a food truck operation. I come in by way of operations and being a community liaison. Born and raised in San Francisco, so wanted to do something in my neighborhood that continue to create platforms for people to follow their passion and have a lane to find a way to success. I'm an entrepreneur by trade, and I'll get into a little bit of that on the back end. But I'm part of a group, a wonderful group, more like a family business team. Pastor Andy, Lynn Lee, Chef Sharon Lee, and Chef Jason. We all come together collectively. Chef Sharon Lee is lead instructor. She's from the city, culinary background based out of New Orleans with over 20 years of experience, runs a catering service. Chef Jason has about 20 years experience as well, based out of Southern California, does an abundance of consulting for a variety of restaurants in the Bay Area. Pastor Andy comes, but he brings the faith-based element, but having God be the platform, just knowing that everything is possible through him, and keeping that element there as the foundational piece for us in the connection to the community. And him and Lynn Lee both had that relationship blooming, and then she has a background in finance. And the program itself will start in our first official cohort October 12th. We'll have a 10-week training program where you'll learn the basics of culinary skills, cuts and tools and things of that nature. Will provide you with your uniform, shoes, tools, knives, things like that. You'll get familiar with everything that it takes to allow you to be able to go into a 3-star Michelin restaurant upon completion. In addition to that, the rest of the whole time of the program is a 6-month program. The first 10 weeks is training. Upon completion of the training, you'll receive your food handler certification. And then there's a paid internship that follows that, starting at $18 an hour. You'll have an opportunity to work on the truck. You'll be able to participate in catering events and pop-ups, being able to learn how to make food in abundance, being able to prepare for pay to order, things of that nature. So as you step out from this program, you'll be able to either take the lane of going into the restaurant industry with your culinary skills, finding employment through Fillmore Square, being able to work on the truck, or if you have a desire to run your own food truck, then having that support and mentorship to walk you through the steps that it takes to get to that place. So whether it's your certifications, knowing when inspections you need to pass or things of that nature, being able to make sure you have all that knowledge as you carry on in that journey. And then, like I said in the beginning, just being able to create a platform in the community for somebody who may need an opportunity. We're 18 and over, but we like to focus on people past the age of 25 and up. Just based on statistics in San Francisco, there's not a lot of programming and support in place for people who are 27 and up. So once you pass that transitional age group, there's usually not much left there for you. What we want to do is be able to say, we want to help. We're open to helping anybody. And there's abundance of programs for youth and other things of that nature. We want to be able to get to some of those parents or some of those people who may need just a second chance at life to do something different or follow a dream that they always had. In addition to that, just to give a little bit of my background, I got brought into this by my history in the community. So 11 years ago, I had an opportunity after being released from prison as a two-strike offender, as someone who didn't have business experience. I had an opportunity to be a part of a resident-based business group that started a social enterprise called Green Streets. Once we were able to start Green Streets, we focused on waste diversion. So waste diversion is recycling and composting. We did that in low income and affordable housing. Within our first 6 months of existence, we was able to reach over 50% diversion. In our time of existence, we've been able to employ over 100 plus people from barrier backgrounds, whether it's low income or affordable housing, whether you don't have a high school diploma, probation or parole. Because I'm of that population, I always understood how important it was to meet people where they was at and give them an opportunity to better themselves. So Green Streets started my foundation in entrepreneurship, and it allowed me to feel empowered and what it means to have your own and to run your own business, and now I can preach that to my kids, and it's allowed me other avenues to open up. So Green Streets is one. Then I was able to be a part of a project in my neighborhood called the Buchanan Mall Project. So that was in partnership with Exploratorium, Trust for Public Land, and Rec and Park, where in a 6-block radius in my neighborhood from Fulton and Buchanan to Eddy and Buchanan, where basically residents created the design, and then we're responsible for what it looks like for the total layout. And in that layout, it has what's called an opportunity hub. So an entrepreneurship kiosk, a garden, a neighborhood garden that can be ran by the residents, space for events like pop-ups and performances and other things of that nature, play for all ages. And I'm mentioning these things because all this stuff ties in together, because it's all based in necessity. It's all based in solutions to a lot of the problems that we face in the environments that we come from. We talk a lot about what the issues are. So I'm one of those people who has been of that and been a part of causing a problem too. So wanting to see what the solution is and be a part of seeing those things through. So being grassroots, because it shows our strength as a community, our strength as a village, our strength as a family, to be able to connect with one another and understand whatever walk you come from, more than likely we're more alike than we are different, and then create something together that can show other people living, breathing examples. So that's what we did with Green Streets. That's what we did with Buchanan Mall. And now we're here doing it with Fillmore Square and the culinary platform. And it, for me, I think it addresses livable wages in a city like San Francisco, where we know people are moving out. It addresses healthy eating, where we're talking about people being able to learn food science and things of that nature and know what they're putting into their body. And then the entrepreneurial aspect, the ownership aspect, being able to take the ball and run with it, open doors for our people, not just push yourself up the ladder, but reach that hand back to pull each other up, to show each other what we can do when we work together.
Man, powerful stuff. You see the community saying thank you for what you're doing. I think this is powerful I'm glad you led with that. As a Black man, talking about the obstacles you've been through to get to where you at. So many times in our community, Black men are not willing to be vulnerable, talk about their stories, talk about what they've been through. But that's an inspiration, man. And I'm a big person on reentry and giving people second chances, right? And you that picture right now that just like, come on, this is why it's important. To invest in the community. When people go through struggles in their life, you talking about that equity. This is what this look like. A brother who's been there, been in the streets, able to make that change through community support. And that's why we're trying to do our part here at both sides of the conversation to make sure that these community resources get out to the community so that we can make sure that we get our folks involved, right? There's opportunities.
Most definitely.
Everybody up. We got to give them an opportunity because we know sometimes it's the monetary, the financial part of things that's missing when we talk about reentry back in the Community that sometimes leads our brothers back to making bad decisions. And
Absolutely.
So I think what y'all doing with this culinary thing is very, very good. What a way to bless the community. Learn something to cook. We just talked about it with the other panelists about the food struggles that we have in our community, especially with inflation right now, food being hard to get to. In our community, sometimes we always present it with the unhealthy solutions, the McDonald's, the fast food trades. So what a way to get the people in the community involved, find a better way to cook healthier, more affordable, and make that stuff last. So I'm just happy. But, I didn't hear you say, or maybe I missed it. How many people are y'all taking on this first cohort of people for the 6 months?
So for the first cohort, we're aiming for 6 people. And then we'll start a waiting list after that. And we want to start building the momentum. Like once one get finished, keep following up with another one so we could get this thing rolling, because we're looking to bring the food truck into full operation once the first cohort is complete. So that group will have an opportunity to be the first leads to run the Fillmore Square food truck. We already have the truck. It's already wrapped. It's already waiting. It's already sitting in Fillmore. We just waiting for the cohort to be finished so people can take that next step on their pathway.
Oh man, powerful community that's out there listening. Reach out to this brother Tyrone. The information's up on the screen. We want to get 6 individuals out there. Let's get them on here as they start talk about their experience so that we could get more support behind you, more funding. I think this is phenomenal. I think cooking is part of Black folks' culture. Do y'all have a set recipe that y'all gonna be style of cooking, or is it just anything, or what does it look like if I'm coming into this school? I'm cooking.
I'm glad you asked me that too, because I missed that in my spiel. So what we did have initially, so we had Chef Sharon Lee, and she has the New Orleans flavor, and then Chef Jason brings the Asian infusion, and we are permitted to do breakfast and lunch. So the truck will be operating, selling breakfast and lunch as we run operations. Maybe down the line we'll get into something else if dinner presents itself. But the main thing was to connect around food. We knew that food is a way for people from all cultures and backgrounds to connect with one another. And who don't like a good meal and good conversation over breaking bread together?
Oh man, that's phenomenal. I think breakfast is the most important part of the day. A lot of people don't agree, but I think it is. It just starts everything off. And lunch. So that's gonna be phenomenal, man. Please continue to reach out to us. Let us know when y'all get digital flyers and things at events, or when y'all get the truck rolling. Please let us know so we can get out to community, so community come out and support these young people and what y'all doing. Come on, community. Here's another opportunity. So many of our parents in the community are looking for things to get our young people in. And you serving, you said, what ages are you serving when you're looking for?
We're going 18 and over right now.
18 and over.
But I also, when I get an opportunity, I can follow up with you. Chef Sharon Lee runs a youth program that she's helping kids that aspire to do cooking and want to be chefs that's under the age of 18, that she's coordinating with another organization. So we can connect the dots. It's all about just opportunity.
Come on, brother. You got the connection. Get Chef on here. Tell her, come on up here. Come bless the community. Come on here and let the young people know where they could go. So many things are happening, especially with this COVID. We want to make sure that our young people have resources and things for them to do, especially during our winter break, our spring break, and even through our summers. So definitely, ask her to come on, man. Teaching kids how to cook some eggs and bacon can help a parent out if they on the run. So
I definitely will. Thank you, John, for having me on. Like everybody else has mentioned, using your platform, brother, to be able to spread this work and spread this word. And before I go, like I mentioned to y'all before we got on camera, I took a loss. The community took a loss last weekend. So I want to say rest in peace to Lo Baxter from my neighborhood. Real great guy of character who unfortunately was another young man lost to gun violence.
Man, our condolences out to his family. I know my brother Nate Ford from the SF Rebels, he usually comes on and co-hosts tonight with us. And I know it impacted him, a number of our community. And definitely we want to send our condolences to the Baxter family, man. Just sad as we continue to try to find out ways to curb this violence. And I think a program like what you're running here to give brothers another opportunity. And that's why I'm talking about this equity and how do we get this money in here. And I'm always talking about paid apprenticeships, right? How do we get the city? How do we get private donors to support organizations like what you're doing to put money in these young people's pocket so they can learn on the job and also enhance themselves? Because I think this, the moment we give them that money and give them the education, the better opportunity our community is, less opportunity for them to find negative things to get into, because it's all about that idle mind. We always said idle mind is a devil workshop, but if we could put something in these kids' pocket and give them an opportunity, a real sense of hope and what that looks like, man, I think we could change the paradigm in our community. It's going to take a lot of work, but again, prayers out to his family, prayers out to you, brother, because I know, man, doing this work and when somebody close to us is impacted with especially a tragic death, it really impacts us. So my prayers to you too, brother, and just thank you for staying strong and thank you for what you all are doing, collaborating together, working together to make a change in our community. That's what it's about. You are on here, Jim. You're not a hidden anymore. The community's gonna know who you are, man. And any information that y'all have for us, outreach that y'all need, digital flyers or any events coming up, please let us know. We're going to continue to blast the information about this cohort all the way up until it starts. And then if you're still looking for people, please reach out to me. I'm gonna get the information to some of our reentry folks who are coming home, or some people that are still looking for opportunities, and see if we can shoot them your way as well.
All right, most definitely appreciate it.
Hey, much love, brother. Thank you again, man. And we'll be reaching out, man. Stay in touch and keep your head up, brother, and keep on going.
For sure.
All right, right on, T. All right, community, there it is. Y'all see my brother Tyrone. Please look at the Fillmore Square. Go in there. He got a cohort opening up for culinary, man. Y'all go out there and reach out to the brother and make sure you support. With that being said, we got to keep moving on here. We got a powerful hidden gem come up. Y'all just don't know how hard it was to get this brother here. He is so powerful, moving our community, moving the people, working with everybody, relationship building. When y'all talk about relationship building, this brother here, man, this is what he's about. Powerful brother. Happy to have him here. We've been trying to get him for a long time. But tonight, we have the brother, the man, the myth, the mystery. Brother Derek Brown, come on up, man. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, Jay, hey, I appreciate you so much, bro. First and foremost, condolences to you and your family. Sending love, prayers, and thoughts your way as well. If you need anything, let me know. As you know, I got your back like a backpack.
Man, right on. Love you, D, right on.
Me too, baby. And condolences to everyone, Aunt Lil Bax as well. Friends and family is his as well. We go way, way, way back just growing up in the Mo. So wanted to send loves and prayers as well. Jay, thanks again for having me. I've really been wanting to come on your show for so long. It is an absolute honor and privilege to be here today. As you touched on, I'm Derek Brown, a senior director of the Leo T. McCarthy Center here at the University of San Francisco. But just want to let you know, I'm also born and raised in the city, primarily in the Mo, in the Western Addition. Grew up in Banneker's, been there all my life. And for me, it's interesting because, for high school, went to Wash, before high school, running around at different community-based organizations, El Hill Hutch, HAM, Boys and Girls Club, a little bit of everything. But for me, I was fortunate enough to graduate high school. But unfortunately, a lot of cats that I grew up with weren't that lucky. Most of my friends now are dead, in jail, or wandering the streets aimlessly. A lot of us got caught up in to drug activity, fighting, shooting, a little bit of everything. So for me, when I graduated high school, college was not on my radar. No one in my family went to college. So for me, I just wanted to get out and get a job. So I went to the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco, worked there with young people, teen services director. And after several years of doing that, I believe it was like my 6th year or so with the club, I created this teen leadership program. And I tried to encourage teenagers to go to school. And they looked at me and was like, D, wait a minute. why should I go to college if you've never been? And as you know, the truth hurts. And young people, they just don't lie. They keep it real, no filters. So the next day, I went to City College, gave school a try, surprised myself, did extremely well there, continue to crush it day in and day out, graduated national Dean's List, actually 2 years in a row, Dean's List. And then I got elected to the Board of Trustees there. So I was student trustee. And at that time, when I did start it, my daughter was about 3 months old. So I was like, you know what? Let me hit the ground running. Let me try to take it to the next level. And then after graduating City College, I transferred to UC Berkeley and absolutely crushed it at Cal, focused on public affairs, and then graduated there with honors, continued to do my work in the community. I left the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco, then started working for Juvenile Probation Department. In addition to that, I had the opportunity to work closely with Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, tackling projects with her for the past couple of years. I'm also doing some amazing work as well with Mayor Newsom, Mayor Brown, and a few others. But when I graduated Cal, I really wanted to continue, doing the work that I was doing in the community, because all the work that I've been doing, for over 20 years have been focused within the community. So I was fortunate enough to get a fellowship program, get accepted to Coro, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on preparing young leaders for a successful life in public service. So I took on that opportunity, completed that for the year, and then I hit the ground running. Was fortunate enough to work for the late Mayor Ed Lee, so a senior advisor to the mayor for several years. Right after that, I had the opportunity to work for SFPD, senior advisor to the chief of police. And then now, here I am today, senior director of the Leo T. McCarthy Center. And here at USF, my main focus is to look at ways to prepare students for a successful life in public service, whether they want to become a politician, a teacher, work for a community-based organization, you name it. We get them trained and prepared for that. So it's interesting now that here I am, at USF, close, right down the street from the Western Addition. So I still have the opportunity to continue to work with young people, work with the community, uplift the community. And I know one of the programs that I'm super excited about that I'm getting ready to launch in the next month or so is the Rising Dons Mentorship Program, where we're providing mentorship to young people in various community-based organizations. So if you are, community-based organization and you are in need of mentors, we have tons of mentors here that we would love to connect with our young people. So again, thank you so much, Jay, for having me. Really, really appreciate it. And like I say, as always, great sharing space with you, bro.
Man, phenomenal, very powerful. Now y'all see why I said it's an honor to have this brother on here, because I think, not only with your leadership, D, your story. And like I just told Tyrone, it is so important for Black men to come back and let the community know the things they've been through, where they come from, and how they climb that ladder, right? Because again, sometimes we don't see it, right? We hanging on the corners. We don't get to see brothers who came from where we came from. Yeah. Most of those times we see that they athletes. Okay, they got opportunity, and most time, he's in the sports. That's why he got that option, right? But to see you do the work that you're doing it in the public service realm is very, very important to the community and to our young people. We have to start letting our young brothers see Black males that look just like them, that come from where they come from. And they didn't go to college because sports, right? They went to go actually do something. And I think it's powerful. Your story is tremendous. And the mentoring program, man, I want to help get that out to the community because our young people need this mentorship. I've received some calls, disturbing calls of some of the things that's happening in our middle schools and our high schools with our young people when it comes to violence towards women and dropping out of school and different things of that nature. And I'm always trying to figure out, how do we connect them? How do we give them that culture love that they need to uplift them? And I think through mentoring, I'm a big believer in mentorship. But I think what you're doing is very important, because we also have to show character and integrity, right? It's too many times in our community, D, that we got people who say they leaders, but they don't lead in good examples. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? They still straddling the fence, right? And it's hard to get our youngsters to buy in when you straddling the fence, right? So I always tell people, like, pick, when you're dealing with young people, I don't care what your business is, I don't care what you do personally, right?
Yeah.
When you're dealing with young people, when you own that fence, you got to make a decision on what side you're going to be on because they watching.
Yeah.
And if we want them to buy in and believe what we're selling, it got to be 100% or they're not going to listen.
Right. You got to continue to lead by example. Definitely. And speaking of leading by example, huge shout out to Jada Curry as well. I know she's doing some amazing work with you all. She's also a rising Dime, crushing it here at USF. So definitely want to give her a huge shout out as well. We love the work she's doing.
Man, definitely we love Jada. You talk about community impact. You know, she's always jumping in to do things to impact the community. And yeah, we definitely love and support her and thank her for the work that she does with us, as well as all of the community. She's been always available for all community organizations, just willing to give back. And I think what you're talking about in that mentorship, that's what that looks like, right? If we catch them young and we mold them right and give them the experience, right? And I know one thing about you, D, you willing to let the young people lead. And I think the elders of our community, you know, one of the biggest things here is when do the elders of our community transfer the power, release the baton to the young people? And I think you're a great example of that, working with the young people, bridging that gap and making sure that community builds those relationships with our public officials and educating them. I think you hit it right on the head so many times in these schools. We are not educating our community how to be involved, how to get the civics 101, how to participate in the voting and get a part of the community process what other communities do. And that's why sometimes our community falls behind. And, you know, having you as a leader of the community doing that, we definitely want to utilize our platform to continue to educate our young people in the community how to get in these processes. Because I think the more we get our community aware, how does it impact us? You know, they got the redistricting going on right now, right? A lot of people don't even know what that is, what's going on, right? And we got to start being a part of these meetings. But I think the community has to be educated, and we're doing our part to reach out. And hopefully you could bring some of those resources to the community, right? And put on a presentation and tell people why this is important, why to get involved so that we can keep our communities and make them stronger. We know gentrification is pushing us out, but the small percentages of here, we got to educate them, bring them the awareness, and fight together so that we can stay here in this city that we so all came from, to keep it some portion of it black and black sponsored.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you, bro. I'm willing to come back anytime, man. Just keep me posted.
Hey, no problem. Thank you again for your leadership, D. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon, brother.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. My guy right there, D Brown, coming in representing. That's what it's all about, man. Black leadership. Just thanking the brother for being here tonight. We have our last hidden gem. She's been waiting patiently. Miss Ashley, we're going to bring her up from the Bayview Opera House and talk about some of the things that she's doing and going on, because I think what she's doing is very powerful. And as we know, there's been a lot of different things happening when it comes to the community center. And because she's a new person involved with the changes, hopefully her leadership help break some of this stuff down and get community back in the space. So with that being said, Ms. Ashley Smiley, come on up here and introduce yourself to the people and what you're doing over there at the Bayview Opera House.
Hey. Yeah, my name is Ashley Smiley. I go by Smiley. First off, little background, born and raised San Franciscan. Okay. Like that's what I claim all day. That's who I am. You know, I went to Lowell. Don't pay attention to that. But then I went to USF, Go Dons 2013. So Derek, me, you need to talk about what's happening in that performing arts department, but we'll connect. And then I went to SF State to get my master's in drama. And now I'm in the PhD program at the Graduate Theological Union, getting my PhD in historic and cultural studies in religion with the focus on art and religion. And in particular, looking at performance as liberation for the Black community. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I am the program manager for the Bayview Opera House. And I just want to say, first off, I already know that, you know, there's a history. People got a lot of feelings. People got a lot of stuff. And I've been working really hard to try and connect with our community members and see how we can repair that relationship. How it is that we can really reconnect, because I'm doing something different. I want to see my folks in that building. I remember being a young girl at MLK doing the, African-American, like different parades. I was a part of a little choir. We used to sing on that stage. So I understand the importance of the Black community being in that space. And that's what I'm trying to go ahead and make sure happens. And so, but I can't do that without the community. So however y'all feel, I be needing y'all to show up to the stuff that I'm doing so that I can keep pushing it forward. A few of the things that we have coming up this week, this Thursday, we have a free screening of Summer of Soul. So folks probably heard about that this summer. It came out, it's on Hulu. It was a Questlove thing, but it's Black music history, 2 hours of never before seen footage, because Black folks put on, Stevie Wonder, David Ruffin, all these people put on a festival that nobody paid attention to. Sound familiar? Right. So we're about to screen that for free at the Bayview Opera House. So you can go ahead and get that. Also this Saturday, we're going to have Feli Chaco and her group come in and do this really beautiful African-centered dance theater piece. And that also, like, I need y'all to come and see what we got going on. Christopher Street, who teaches our San Francisco Girls courses, is about to have a Bob Marley tribute. Pull up, right? Because we're going to have a lot of fun. And so I'm really trying to make sure that we are actively being present and involved. The other thing that's going on right now that I'm really happy to push is that we actually got Dreamkeeper Initiative money. And so we have some things that are about to pop off. One, tomorrow we're about to launch our Tools of the Trade program. And so this is it's a workforce development program, but it's also just like one of those things that we realize is that Black artists in particular often don't have the education or the resources to push forward in the industry, in their particular industries, especially performing and visual arts. And so this is an opportunity for you to not only get those skills, right? Lighting, sound, projection, marketing, promotion, hands-on network, like hands-on work, also networking with different folks. And also, like, we're going to be pushing you on our platform. So there's going to be 10 performing artists that are going to work with us, and they're going to be working with us on Harriet Spirit with Opera Parallel, which is Marcus Shelby and Peter Callender. Then they're going to be helping us with the Push Dance show in Motley. That's going to be happening in February, and also Winter Wonderland. So you're going to know how to do professional dance, professional opera, community events, and know how to put it together from start to finish, all of that stuff. And for the visual artists, they're learning how to curate their own work, how to brand their work, how to make sure that they can sell it for what it's worth and nothing less. And then they're also going to be curating an exhibit. So like really trying to amplify the fact that the Bayview has Black artists all up and through it who just need that door open. And that's what we're going to be doing. So please pay attention to like what we got going on. The other thing is we have the Secure the Bag grants, and BAG is for the Black Artist Grants. That's also a part of the Dreamkeeper Initiative. And that in particular is like my way of trying to scoot folks back into using that space. A lot of people have talked about the Bayview Opera House being too expensive, being inaccessible. And so these grants you can actually apply for. It's a joint effort between us and the San Francisco African American Arts and Cultural District. And you can apply for these grants to do events, and the money can actually cover whatever expenses you would have for the venue rental. And then you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing Black culture, you're doing Black art, and we want to see that happen. And there's a couple of people, Feline Finesse, who I want to make sure get up in there and present their work, and also have the absolute backing of a venue. Like one of the things that we're going to be doing also for like Phoenix Day on October 17th is people can come hang out with me and get a tour of the Bayview Opera House. One thing that I've been hearing is that a lot of folks have not actually stepped foot in that building for quite some time. So y'all don't even know what it looks like no more. We got lights, we got projection screens, we got new floors, we got all this other type of stuff going on. And so I want to make sure that the community can actually come in, see this space, see what's going on about in it and see what we have to offer you. We're also really trying to focus. I'm personally trying to push us to do more stuff on our outdoor stage, which is definitely the more accessible and affordable space. And so it's like, do you have a concert idea? Hit me up. And like, that's really the mood that I'm trying to move in. Like, I want to do exposure. I want to make sure that, one, we don't sit up and we don't let folks think that white people own ballet or own opera or own all of these other things. Like, they don't. It was ours first. And so, yes, some of the programming that we'll have will be stereotypically considered things that white people would be interested in. But I know too many Black people that do it. And like, we need to make sure that our community is exposed to all of that, because you just might like it. But also, I know what my people need. And I realized that in the programming before, that was not always seen. Like, us, San Franciscans, Bayview folks are special folks. I lived at Caseta and Ingalls for a long time. I know us. San Francisco Black folks are a special type of folks. And if you don't know that, and if you're not prepared to deal with that, then you're going to bring some stuff to the table that may not actually suit the people. And so I am trying to really have a conversation with the community. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? What do you want to experience? And then also figure out the ways that I can expose folks to something new and something different. And so really, ultimately, like, being here, I just really want to say, like, please hit me up. Please contact me and have that conversation with me. I know that there are a lot of past feelings and current feelings about stuff, but I wasn't there before. I'm there now. And I'm really, really trying to repair that relationship. So also, if you have an event that you would like BVOH to support, we did an entire virtual production class. Like, we have definitely helped launch people's virtual productions and use our platform to do that. I'm usually the person spearheading that, so you don't have to worry about nobody else. But like, we will show up. I will show up. I will be there. I will help promote your stuff. I want to make sure that we are reintegrated into the community, because I need you. But that goes back to what I said earlier. Please show up to our events, because I can't make my stuff work if y'all not there. So forget how you feel in the past. Show up on Thursday for this free screening. Show up on Saturday for this show. Pay attention to our Facebook and our Instagram and whatever, like, and really just come back out. Like, take a leap of faith on us one more time and understand that Smiley got you. Smiley got you for show. And I just want to, say that.
Now, I'm going to hold you to it. Okay. Both sides of the conversation. We are going to be the new Black TED Talk of America.
Look,
in our community at the Bayview Opera House.
Come on. And like, I want to make sure that people pull up I'm ultimately trying to get it to a point where, like, there's just going to be days where if you got a food truck, you just pull up to the Opera House over there on Oakdale or whatever. We got the gate open. You could chill. You want to bring your little amp? You want to play some drums? Just come kick it. Like, I understand that it really became just a building behind a fence, and it don't need to be that, right? But now I need my people to treat us with care, okay? Because the building is not cheap. But at the same time, I want you there. I want, anybody that's got a big H, I'm already trying to holler at him, be like, come through. You know what I mean? All of the folks come back. Like, I promise you, I got the keys. That was the worst thing they could have ever done, was give me some keys. I got the keys. Come back and holler at me about what you're trying to do so that we can actually make it happen. Let's do it.
Well, I'm holding you accountable. So when the people call me, because I get all the emails in the community.
I know you do.
Bayview, they call me, John Henry, this is what's going on. They ain't letting us up in here. They kicking us out of our space. So they gonna call me, and I'm gonna be coming down and looking for you. Now, I want to say one thing before I go any further. You know what I'm saying? I want to publicly apologize. And I know when the first time I met you, I was going in, but it wasn't nothing directly towards you. But and I know you didn't take it that way. But I want to say again, I apologize, sister, because I went in, but it wasn't at you. It was at the system, but you happened to be there, and I didn't know who you was at first. I know who you are, but I didn't know that you was running the Baby Opera House programming. So I was going in about the models, and that's what it was really about. It was about the model, about the Indian Basin space and some of the things that they're doing in the waterfront. And I was talking about the model, and what I was saying is we didn't want that model where they create stuff in our community, but then the community can't be a part of the process, or they can't utilize the space. And that's all it was. It wasn't nothing towards you. But again, I'm a man. I can say I apologize.
But it's all good, because that's also not the model that we want. And and that also, I jumped in head first. And so all of that was super helpful for me to hear. Like, okay, this is really how people feel. Because no one was really trying to tell me, how the people really felt. I was like, oh, okay, it's really like in the spirit. Folks really got some feelings. Okay, now this is my opportunity to reach out to folks and speak to folks, and make sure that we get back right. So ain't no harm, no foul. I appreciated that education right there.
Yeah, I just want both sides of the conversation. We're the voice of the community. When there's a problem, they call me.
Yeah, I feel it.
For my people, man, I got to make sure that these spaces and these people that's supposed to be doing what they supposed to be doing as a community leader, that's my job to make sure that these people are doing what they saying they doing and what they supposed to be doing. So our people feel like they included, and make sure that they got the support to utilize the space or the services. And that's really what it's all about. But I am honored to have you here tonight. Please work with us. Get us the digital flyers when you have those events so that we can blast it out to the community and make sure that the community know. I think one of the biggest problems that we're trying to fix, especially right now with this Dreamkeeper stuff and the community resources, trying to centralize this community, working with B Magic, working with some to get it on the calendar so the community know. Because a lot of times it's not that the work's not happening or the resources is not there. It's about the messaging and the networking. How do we get that communication out to the people? And that's our job here at both sides of the conversation. Part of this narrative shift is also making sure that these resources and this information gets out to the community. So I am looking forward to working with you in the future as well, so that when there are events that you are doing for the community, that we properly announce it and get it out on all our social media handles so people know we want to get this space back as ours. I'm glad you shouted out Feline Dance Group, and we don't want them other dance groups. We want our Black-led organizations, our Black-led dance groups in our community. We want our African dancers. We want our African drummers. We want all of our people to be able to utilize the space. And I'm not saying us can't use the space, but it's a problem when others get the space for monetary things and we can't, and push us out. So right is where I'm at. We'll keep pushing that, but I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. And again, both sides of the conversation. We got to get indoors. We got to do, when it starts raining, we got to do both sides of the conversation inside the Opera House for the people. So we got to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna call Erica. We're gonna sit down, me, you, and Erica. We're gonna talk, and we're gonna find out how both sides of the conversation can get in the Opera House, and we can have a live Sunday conversation with the community. We'll start our first exemption in our way, in our pathway to the new Black TED Talk of the community.
Yes, I love it. I'm here for it.
But definitely get the information out. I'm gonna bring up Brother Tyrone real quick. Because I know it's late. I'm gonna try to get everybody out of here. But every segment, I know the other guests had to get out of here. We like to ask a question and listen to what community has to say. But the question tonight to you, Smiley, and to Tyrone is, I want to get you all opinion of. I don't know if y'all all seen it. What's going on down in Texas under the freeway with the Haiti immigrants, and seeing some of the images that were displayed across the TV screens of the horses and the whips and, just horrible treatment to people who are already going through so much. I want to see, how do y'all feel about that? Did it trigger you? How did it make you feel? Because I know our community people are upset across this nation about that. But I just wanted to hear from you all. Did it impact you? How did it make you feel? I mean, I thought I was in a slavery movie. I couldn't believe it was really happening right now. So just wanted to ask that to you. You and Tyrone, either one of y'all could jump in. What do y'all think about what's going on down there in Texas?
It was many. That, like, I don't even know the right words. Like when I saw it posted, I was like, that's not real. And then when I was like looking more, I was like, oh, they're on horses with whips. Like, this feels like something that's not even supposed to happen. And then it was a trip, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, these are my people. These are folks who who look like me, who come from my bloodline. They're out here, they're running from something that is destructive. And then some of them are being shipped back to Haiti, not even knowing that that's where they're being shipped back to. People are yelling, go back to Mexico. And I'm like, okay, so the ignorance is real wild out here. That's real. And then at the same time, I'm hearing the story, I don't know if y'all heard it, about the fact that this copy of the Constitution is being sold for $15 million. And I was like, so at one point, we got people with the privilege of not only selling the American Constitution, right, and then purchasing it and having it posted up in their foyer or whatever, but at the same exact time, we have people who we have historically, as a country, done dirty. Like it's not even, you can't even use big words on it, like just done dirty, like economically, socially, just everything just done wrong. And then here they are coming to us, right? And we're treating them, it almost looks like another plantation, right? It almost, it's absolutely bananas. And I was like, this is all happening at the same time. And so many people, I feel like, still don't even fully know that it's happening, right? Or that that's who that is. You hear about people at the border and automatically you start thinking about, oh, this is a part of like the Latinx community or whatever. And then when you actually see, that's not even who we're talking about right now. We're talking about people from Haiti who just experienced this devastation. And that's a whole other level. It's just so much. It's just so much.
I would follow in on that on two things. One, what you said, John, triggering. Like you just said, sis, I thought the imagery wasn't real at first too. I thought it was a meme or something like that was just being blasted out, until I looked further, read the caption, and people what was happening. And imagery is extremely powerful. So over the years, we've seen the images, whether it's with the whips or the water hoses, the dogs, and all that stuff. And it does something to you emotionally. What I am very proud of is being a part of this now time where it seemed like we have this energy. I don't know if some people debate if the letter is real or not, but I don't know if the Willie Lynch spell is wearing off or what's happening. But I feel like there's a time where our people is now saying enough is enough, and they need more of us to kind of continue on with that momentum in every aspect of life, because these things that are occurring and stuff that happens, we know that this stuff wasn't set up for us. And it takes, once you start figuring that out, then you start looking at it from a different type of scope, right? So like, it's not, when I did recognize that it was real, it wasn't surprising. That didn't change the devastation, but we've seen this repeat itself over and over in many forms, whether it's them shackling us and moving us through the system and the mass incarceration. All these things go back to some of these original images we've seen of us. And it continued to, repeat itself, right? And I don't know what the resolve for, like I spoke when I was speaking, I'm a resolve person. So I'm always trying to think like, what's the action that needs to take place in order for this not to occur anymore? But when I think as a person, when I go, oh, this system wasn't set up for us, then you only can either change the system or create a new system. What does that look like then? How do we change the system, or what does creating a new system look like? If they were able to create a system, why aren't we able to create a system? You know what I mean? Some of those things that it's a lot of work, it's a lot of energy, but I think if there's a collective around it, then we have enough of us to start implementing change. And we know our people. When people see things happening, it's a whole nother wave of people that'll jump on board with it. It's just about who's going to make that sacrifice collectively to continue to push. So these platforms is important for us to even have this dialogue, to come from all these different avenues to say where we coming from on this aspect, and then be able to build from that starting point. But like we spoke on, like everybody spoke on, is these little pockets of work that we do is so important to a much bigger like thing that we're addressing. Feel me? I love us, but I feel so bad that we got to go through so much trauma, so much. We have to endure so much as us.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. And I think one of the biggest things to me right now is not letting it fall by the wayside. Like I think one of the things, you know, I gotta be honest, I'm not necessarily about to fly to Texas right now, you know, and put boots on the ground. If I gotta, you know, because there's my work to be done. But one thing that I can do is make sure that people don't forget, that they make sure that they see this is what's happening, and that the conversation is constantly present. Because if there's anything that this country and the media will definitely want to get rid of, it's anything that's affecting us. Right? It's anything that's like, they don't even want us to know what's happening in our own world. And so if we can at least make sure people know, like, hey, somebody that looks just like you when you look in the mirror is experiencing this right now, like, and this is what it is, and this is it, at least talk about it. You know what I mean? At least share the images, at least make sure that people are aware and hold people accountable to staying aware of what it is. Don't let up. You know what I mean? Constantly comment on it. Don't let it fall by the wayside, because it's so easy. And I think especially what you're saying too, Tyrone, like, we go through so much. It is so easy for us to have to jump to the next thing. And I think for this, we definitely want to make sure that people keep it in the forefront. Like, okay, yes, there's all this stuff that we need to be paying attention to, and this, and this, and we can't let this happen, you know?
I don't think you're wrong. My bad. I just want to wrap with this. I don't think you're wrong in saying that, because we have so much capacity for so much BS that we'll remember, repost, share, and dialogue about that. It's not hard to do that. And I'm glad you said that, because sometimes we be so desensitized that you'll be like, we know it's messed up out here. So I ain't even trying to focus on what's messed up, and you'll go on to something else. But you saying that made me say, you know what? I can use my platform to at least post about it and say my 2 cents, knowing that it'll go to this many people or something like that, and just keep the narrative flowing. They talk about what's the PTSD, right? Like post-traumatic stress syndrome. So post is like when you remove from, but most of us is still in the environments and situations that cause the immediate trauma. So it's like chronic or something like that. I forgot what the term is, but I think it's CTSD. Feel me? But it's about when that occurs like that, so many times people will be like, I'm not even paying attention to everything else. I'm beat up. I'm exhausted. I'm down. But I think it's important for us to know that whether it's one of us or all of us, that shared information is how we survive. It's a key element to our survival as a people. So if they'll do it to them, they'll do it to you. So we better know what's going on.
Man, very powerful stuff. All I can say is I was in tears. I was ashamed of this country to hear the stories of people walking over dead babies, mothers pregnant, having their kids, people having it just disrupted my day tremendously. But I also want to say this, when we're talking about solidarity, and this is what I'm talking about, where is all these other ethnic groups at in solidarity? But for Black folks especially, I just want to say this, now that this is impacting us, and this is why I said why the Latinos was going through it at the border, how do we all as citizens come together as one? Right? Because when we talk about solidarity, I always tell people solidarity looks like for me, 365 days a year. Whatever the issue is, we all stand up. And we know too many times when we talk about solidarity, certain groups, certain ethnic groups, they pick and choose when to get in, right? When the movement for Asians, stop the Asian hate game, everybody got behind it. Okay. But when Black folks go through stuff, nobody's there. Latino folks go through stuff, nobody is there. I hope this is an awakening call to everybody in this country. Okay, if we don't come together and start fighting and walking together in solidarity 365 days a year for any issue, it is going to be tremendous devastation to our communities. We are in a crisis right now in America with homelessness, mental health, this Delta variant. You get what I'm saying? The immigrant situation. You didn't see the people from Afghanistan having to deal with horses stumping on them, right? They gave them AR&B housing and $20,000 in cash. Like, this is ridiculous stuff.
Wow.
Like, we gotta call this stuff.
Wow.
We gotta call this stuff out, right? But we gotta stick together as community. This is what I'm telling the Black community sometimes. I always say this. The problem sometimes with our people is too much church and too much Democratic Party. Okay, we got to start being about us. Okay?
Right.
And I told everybody, you know, and nothing, I don't get into politics, but I tell people this. When Trump was in office, Black folks' consciousness was awakened from the hatred and the stuff that was going on. We were uniting. My biggest fear, and I tell people they can go back and look at our shows when we talk about voting. I said, if Biden and Kamala Harris get in office, the most fearful thing that I'm worried is Black folks take their foot off the gas pedal and come back.
Man,
Exactly.
that's so real.
Exactly.
I'm just telling y'all.
So real.
I'm just
bud.
telling y'all, we only almost a half a year into this administration.
And already.
Watch it, you seeing it.
Both Black folks have took and they fight off. I've seen more cases in the last 6 months of police continue to brutalize our people, kill our people. Where's our people at? You get what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Last year, the momentum was crazy.
It was crazy. So this is what I say. And this is why I tell Black folks, sometimes we got to get out of this religion and focus on us and keep the movement going. Okay?
Yeah.
We get so tied up in these churches, this religion stuff, and we're slowly dividing us apart. And I was worried about this, but it's happening. I'm like, I ain't going to say it yet, but I'm looking. We almost a year into this. And look how relaxed Black folks have became calm.
We cannot lose that urgency.
Yeah, just because the president ain't out there saying all these racial things, now everybody then took their foot off the gas pedal. It's just a different way of racism, you know. So
it's the smooth kind. It's the Democratic kind.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But that was definitely something that I thought about too. I was like, you know, and I was a part of a bunch of conversations within churches, like, how y'all gonna be accountable for helping to make sure that the gas pedal stays down? Like, what are you know, there's a lot going on in the Black church.
Listen, they not doing nothing, Smiley. That's the problem.
You
These
know,
Black church leaders, these organizational leaders, they are failing the Black community. And if we as the Black community don't stop supporting them and not stand behind them and look for new leadership, we ain't going nowhere. We are headed. I mean, do y'all hear what's going on? These people are playing politics with the lives of our people. We are on the verge of a financial meltdown here in America.
Lord have mercy.
You know, like people don't even understand like what's happening. We got bills that they don't get passed, and the federal government talking about shutting down. Like, we got some real issues.
And local voting, like, you know, folks. I mean, you know, you can feel how you want to about Gavin, but just seeing how people are like, I'm not even participating. It's like, no, we got to participate in everything. They count on us not participating. They count on us like being like, nah, I don't want to be involved. No, we have to. That's the only way that we get things done for our community. San Francisco is the same thing. We got to hold everybody accountable. I don't care if that's your homie, sister, cousin, friend. Hold your homie, sister, cousin, friend accountable, especially if they have a position in which they're supposed to be bringing us forward. We can't lose that sense of urgency. We can't sit there and be like, you know, passive bystanders when all of this is happening. And then when something hits the news, go, oh my God, I got feelings. No, you got to have feelings 24/7, 365. You got to be moving like, you know what I'm saying? The conversation has to be real the whole time, no matter what you're doing. And if they're not moving for us, we can't stand with them, period. Like, that's just what it is. We have to set that example of like, no, we can't let you fool us no more. We can't let you pull us back no more. Regardless, all skin folk ain't kin folk. You know what I'm saying?
Say it again. I'm gonna tell everybody like this in the Black community. The alarm is going off. We got to stop hitting the snooze button. It's time to get out here. We got to work. We got to grind. We got good leadership. I know some people don't agree with the politics in San Francisco, but we got 3 powerful Black leaders in our city. We got to get behind them. We got to lift them up. Okay, and as community, we got to do our part. I'm tired of hearing about what the other communities is doing. What are we doing? We got to be the change. We as leaders of the community got to do our work. Even me, I got to do a better job. I got to do more. I got to get out there and support more. Okay, I'll take full accountability. I got to do more. We all got to do more. We got to stop complaining about what the Asian community doing, what the Latin community doing. We got to start doing what we doing. First of all, we got to get mental health. Okay, that's the first thing on the real. Mental health for our community. We got to educate our community. We got to build up our financial power. Okay, all this housing stuff that's going on and all these issues that we're facing because we're financially impacted. We got to start investing in each other. We got to start trusting each other. It's time to let go of that trauma bonding mentality and start apologizing and start trusting and working with each other. Because I'm telling y'all, we are headed on a spiral that is not looking good, not only here in Black San Francisco, but across this country. And it's going to take all of us, the people here on this call, you in the community, sitting on your couch. We want to stop this violence in our community. We need everybody talking to these young babies. Let them know that what they're doing is not cool. Stop being quiet. Step up and say something to them. We got to work together if we want this to change. It's just real. I get passionate about this stuff. It's going to take a village approach. Everybody in the community, mothers out there, don't get mad when the next person is telling your kid to pull his pants up or stop acting up. Don't get mad at the parent, get mad at the kid. We got to bring that real love back to our community. That's the only way we're going to fix this problem. We got to go back to the basics. It starts with all of us. Let's do the work. Let's work together. No more competing. Let's collaborate. If you got personal issues, let's talk about it. You could be the bigger person and apologize. I misspoke and said some stuff. I apologize to Smiley Night, even though she said she didn't take that way. I wanted to make sure that it didn't come off that way, right? That's not hard. It just takes a little bit. I can say I'm wrong. I can say I'm sorry. That's just being a human being. How do we get other people in the community to forgive the wrongs, forgive the things that were said, the inappropriate things? Just come on, let's sit down and have a conversation. Adults in the community, I'm holding us accountable. We can't keep blaming these kids for doing what they're doing, and us as adults can't work together, can't talk together. When we got problems as adults, we can't even talk together, but we want kids in the community to put their guns down and do all of this stuff. But as adults, we can't even work it out. So that's what I'm looking for. That's my call to action. Black men in the community, let's stand up. Let's be like the brother Tyrone, brother Brown. Let's start empowering our young men. Let's start teaching them. Let's start mentoring them. Let's start uplifting them so that we can empower our community, enrich our community and community. When you have a sister like Smiley, open the doors for us. Let's take care of the space. Let's clean up behind ourselves. Let's keep the drama away from our precious space. Let's be all a part of this change so that they can keep the gates open. They can keep the doors open. Let's be responsible and do what we need to do to impact our community and move it forward. So that's what I would like to see from community. We got brother Tyrone out here. Please, community, if you know somebody that want to get in this program, 18 years or older, he got a phenomenal cooking program that's going to kick off on October the 12th. Let's get him there. Community, Smiley has opened up the door. Reach out to her, talk to her, figure out, throw some ideas out there so she can help us get into the community. Reach out to our great sister, Erica Scott at the African American Culture Center. Let's come together. Let's figure out how we can bring some of this programming to the Opera House as we start approaching the wintertime. It is going to start raining. Time will go back an hour. So let's do the right thing and help her out so we can have some indoor space to bless our people with some programming that we so much need. I just think it's that time. But the adults in the community, we got to do a better job. Let's work out our differences. Let's work together. Let's collaborate and let's impact our community, because right now our community is facing crisis on all the sectors that are impacting us, and we need to uplift them with love, humility, and compassion. I heard somebody say we're going to meet them where they at. But when we meet you where you at, make sure that you give it back to the community, respect the spaces, respect the work that the people are doing there so we can keep these doors open for the community. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up tonight. Thank you both for hanging on a little late. I know it's getting late, but we appreciate you because this is what it's about. When you love your community, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you got to show up. And here tonight, Smiley showed up for the Opera House. Tyrone is showing up for the brothers and sisters of the community. Utilize the services, uplift the community. With that being said, this Thursday, At 6 p.m., we're going to have another Educational Thursday. We're going to have Sister Sawana come on and talk about the African American Center at the San Francisco Public Library. She's going to come over here, talk about the services, how to connect, how to go check it out, and a lot of the different programming that they have at the San Francisco Library. So check us out this Thursday. Watch that show. It's going to be some great information that she's going to impact the community and make sure that we utilize that space at the San Francisco Public Library. So I'm looking forward to that. And then this Sunday, we're going to be talking about a community conversation about this housing and the issues in our housing developments, rat infestation, termites, mold, some of the issues that our residents are having to put up with, and these management companies who come in and manage these HUD sites and these different developments that are not doing their part. We want to have a conversation about, put that call to action together so as community, we can unite and we can fight to make sure that we get the right livable conditions. It is not inhabitable to live in those type of conditions in our community, and we need to hold those management companies accountable, and we will reach out to our elected officials to get support. But first, community, residents of these units, we got to come together. We got to hear what the issues are so that we can have this call to action, so that we can march in one voice on one thing, so that everybody's on the same page. We don't need 50 different people trying to do different things. Let's come together as one, find out what the collective issues are, so that when we go down and march in this call to action, we make sure that we hit everything on the spot so that we impact our community. So we'll have that conversation this Sunday at 2 p.m. And we'll come up with some of the ideals and hear from some of the residents, some of the issues that they've been impacted with. We got some legal people that's supposed to come on and give us some good advice about how to go with it on that approach. But it's going to be a great conversation. So hope to see you Sunday. And then next Tuesday, we'll have another segment like tonight where we'll continue to uplift our Black and brown businesses, as well as our community leaders who are doing positive things to impact our community. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to all of our hidden gems. We had our hidden gems in Houston, Mississippi, here in the Bay Area, impacting the country. This is what this is about. This is what both sides of the conversation is about, bringing those intersections together, bringing those resources so that we can impact our people, not only here in San Francisco, but across the Bay Area and beyond, because we know sometimes this information don't get to our people, and what a way to use this media platform to get it out to the community. So we're going to continue to do our part, working together with community, putting some of these things together, and again, bringing all these resources to you all through this media platform and through the outreach that we do in the community, as we so often bless the people with our presence and our services, and that's what we will continue to do. So thank you all for tuning in to tonight's segment of Hidden Gems. We'll see you this Thursday as we'll be live again for our Educational Thursday. Thank you, Smiley. Thank you, Tyrone. We love y'all. Anything we could do to support you, please get that information to us. Bring us the digital flyers for your programming. Tyrone, when you get close, send me the stuff again, and we'll keep pumping it out until you start your choral, brother. All right. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Be safe out there.